Manga from Diamond Learning Academy. We'll be looking at biology, specifically the topic digestion in the mouth and the stomach. Therefore, in our discussion for today, we'll specifically concentrate on the mouth and also the stomach. Now, by definition, we're saying digestion is a breakdown of food into simple forms. Now, we need to understand that food needs to be broken down into simple forms because it is very important that this food that we normally eat should be digested and also should be dissolved in the body. Remember, the blood, it is the one responsible for transporting the dissolved food substance that we eat from different food. Therefore, it is very, very important that this food that we eat is broken down into simpler forms. Now, we understand that the digestion starts in the mouth. Now, there are two basic things that we need to understand that probably takes place in the mouth. One, there is what we call mechanical digestion, and also there is what we call chemical digestion. With mechanical digestion, this process usually takes place by the act of teeth. The teeth usually chews the big food chunks into smaller ones. Now, the act of teeth are the ones that normally break down the food into smaller pieces that can be swallowed by the gut. In this case, we also need to understand that the chemical digestion normally takes place because there are some chemicals that are involved. This, what we are simply trying to say is that in the mouth, there are what we call the salivary glands, which produces the enzyme called salivary amylase. Now, the salivary amylase in the mouth, it is the one that starts the digestion of starch in the mouth. So basically, the digestion of starch usually starts in the mouth. Now, when the saliva has been produced, what normally happens at the saliva is being produced because it needs to cool the temperature of the food that we are eating. For instance, if you are taking hot food, that hot food is going to be cooled down by the saliva, which simply means that the water contained in the saliva, it is responsible for that cooling down of the temperature. Then there's also mucus, which is also being produced in the mouth. The mucus, it is a slippery substance, which is also very important in digestion because it assists the food to go down the gut. Now, as the food has been turned into a bolus in the mouth, it is going to be pushed down into the gut or the esophagus. Now, the esophagus wall has what we call the muscles. By the contraction and also the relaxation of those muscles in the esophagus, the food is escorted into the stomach. Now, the process that normally enables the gut to allow the food to pass through the esophagus, it is called peristalsis, which is being carried along by the act of the two muscles that normally contracted and also relax. Now, as the food is being received in the stomach also there are some important actions that normally takes place that also assist the facilitation of the digestion in the stomach. Remember, this food, the whole idea for it to be digested is because it needs to be absorbed by the bloodstream and also be used in different parts of the body. Now, as this food allows in the stomach, what normally happens is that the stomach produces what we call gastric juice. The gastric juice are very, very important because they contain what we call the hydrochloric acid. And then they also contain two enzymes which is known as pepsin and also renin. And also the gastric juice, their main function is when you look at the hydrochloric acid being produced in the stomach, it activates the pepsin and also the renin. For we know that in the stomach, that's where now starch digestion for protein starts from. Therefore, the protein needs to be digested by the pepsin enzyme, and also the renin enzyme also it assists. Now, for it to be activated, it needs the hydrochloric acid. Therefore, the hydrochloric acid it is also very, very important. Then another important thing for the hydrochloric acid is that when you look at the stomach it is also provides the environment for protein digestion. This means that the pepsin and also the renin they work best in acidic environment. Therefore, the hydrochloric acid also it is going to provide that acidic environment in the stomach. Now, when you look at the pepsin and also the renin which has been produced, The pepsin, it starts the digestion of proteins, which breaks down protein into smaller polypeptides. When also come to the renin, renin is mostly produced in children or babies, because babies normally they take in milk. Therefore, the renin is going to coagulate the milk and turn it into soluble protein. Therefore, it is also going to be digested as a protein. Now, it is very, very important to understand that also in the stomach, because we know that the stomach has some muscles. Those muscles are the ones that are responsible for mixing the food by the process of churning. Now, the process of churning enables that all the food that are in the stomach are mixed together.